Welcome to the Dark Lord's Dispatch podcast. From the desk of Satan, Prince of Darkness, CEO of Hell Enterprises, Hell's Throne Room, Friday, September 26th, 2025. Satire Disclaimer. Before Satan starts celebrating getting Jimmy Kimmel back while having a nervous breakdown about technical equipment, let's be crystal fucking clear. This is satire, as in not real news. Satan isn't actually sitting in Hell's throne room eating celebratory chocolates because his comfort watch returned with 6.3 million viewers. The Prince of Darkness doesn't really think an escalator stopping, sound failing, and a teleprompter dying at the UN is proof that even machines have given up on democracy. The Dark Lord's Dispatch is a work of political humor, featuring fictional demons, commenting on unfortunately real events. Any resemblance to actual presidents demanding arrests because mechanical equipment stopped working is, well, that shit actually happened. We're just having Satan point out that claiming triple sabotage at the UN while protecting someone caught on FBI tape taking $50,000 in bribes might indicate some priority issues. We're not suggesting Tom Homan actually said this better not be recorded while taking cash bribes. Oh, wait, that's literally on the FBI recording. We're not saying summoning 800 generals and admirals to a mystery meeting while you're paranoid about escalator assassins is fascist. We're just having Satan note that even he provides agendas for his torture sessions. This is dark humor, folks. Blasphemous, profane entertainment designed to make you laugh while Congress literally cancels an entire week to hide from a vote they already lost. If you can't tell the difference between our fictional Satan's joy at Kimmel's return and actual White House officials calling transparency about Epstein a hostile act, please exit immediately and go demand that escalators be investigated for treason. Apparently that's a thing now. Still here? Good. Remember, the real demons aren't in our fictional hell. They're in the actual policies that prosecute note-takers while protecting bribe-takers, declare being anti-fascist as terrorism, and treat mechanical failures as assassination attempts. Now let's get to the show, where Satan discovers that these incompetent fucks have achieved levels of paranoid evil that make his millennia of careful corruption look like amateur hour. You're up, big guy. Try not to laugh too hard about the escalator conspiracy.
Breaking. My show's back, and democracy's discovering new death rattle depths. Greetings, mortals. Satan here, and holy fucking hellfire. What a week. Jimmy Kimmel's back on the air, with 6.3 million viewers, 4 times his normal audience. And I finally have my comfort watch restored. 45 minutes of someone else documenting America's descent into fascism with actual wit. Someone who understands that if democracy's dying, you might as well get good jokes out of its death rattle. And speaking of death rattles, let me paint you the week's masterpiece of paranoid incompetence. Donald Trump, the spray-tanned monument to malignant narcissism, is demanding the United Nations arrest people for triple sabotage. Triple. His evidence. An escalator stopped, the sound system failed during his speech, and the teleprompter died. 3 technical failures that any competent venue deals with daily, but in Trump's diseased brain. Coordinated international assassination attempt. Not metaphorically, literally. He's calling normal equipment failures at the UN triple sabotage, as if the escalator, microphone, and teleprompter formed a union to destroy him. Meanwhile, his DOJ just indicted former FBI Director James Comey on charges so flimsy they make tissue paper look like Kevlar, while simultaneously burying FBI recordings of Tom Homan, his border czar, taking a $50,000 cash bribe. Because in Trump's America, mechanical failure is attempted assassination, but actual corruption caught on tape is just standard business procedure. Oh, and Pete Hegseth summoned 800 generals and admirals to Quantico for a mystery meeting that definitely isn't a loyalty purge. Definitely not. Just 800 of America's top military brass being called in, with zero explanation during the same week. Their commander-in-chief is claiming escalators are trying to kill him. The cherry on this paranoid Sunday. They yanked down a Trump and Epstein best friends forever statue in the dead of night, one day after it went up on the National Mall, despite having a permit until September 28th. Because nothing says, "We're not hiding anything," like illegally removing art that reminds people of your friendship with a pedophile, while the House races toward 218 signatures to force release of those files. They're so fucking scared that Massey and Khanna are about to get their discharge petition that the White House is holding Situation Room meetings about it. The Situation Room, where they plan wars, now being used to plan how to keep Epstein documents buried. And their solution threatened to shut down the government and use reduction in force rules to fire massive numbers of federal workers. Not everyone, just enough to terrorize the rest into compliance while creating chaos that might distract from everything else. It's not even evil anymore. It's paranoid incompetence achieving nuclear fission. Time to let my demon correspondents dissect this beautiful disaster with the obsessive detail it deserves. You're up, Beelzebub.
Lord of Flies and Decay, reporting in and documenting how personal psychosis becomes institutional policy faster than you can say, "The escalator tried to kill me." Sweet suffering. Where do I even start with this week's corruption buffet? Let's begin with the most spectacular display of paranoid narcissism since Nero blamed Christians for his own fire. The escalator to nowhere. Tuesday at the UN, even the machines rebelled. Trump and Melania stepped onto an escalator that stopped dead, like the universe itself hit pause on their ascent. The teleprompter died. The sound system whispered when it should have roared. Trump screamed sabotage, demanded investigations, invoked the Secret Service. The UN blamed Trump's own videographer for triggering the safety mechanism. Truth is, in a world this broken, even the escalators know which way we're headed. Nowhere but down. But Trump's diseased brain, that Swiss cheese of malignant neurons, concluded triple sabotage. His actual fucking response: criminal investigation by NYPD for equipment failures. Federal investigation by Secret Service for equipment failures. UN staff arrests for equipment failures. International Incident Declaration. I can't even. He literally itemised his evidence. The escalator stopped, the sound went out during my speech, and the teleprompter failed. 3 acts of sabotage. 3 things that happen at literally every conference venue on Earth daily. But sure, it's an international conspiracy Not just the UN's AV department having a really bad day. The Comey indictment. Turbocharged persecution. While Trump's hunting escalator assassins, his DOJ just indicted former FBI Director James Comey on charges so fabricated they make fan fiction look like documentary. The mechanism of corruption functions as follows. Trump rage tweets about Comey for years. DOJ prosecutors refuse to bring charges. No fucking evidence. Trump fires the US attorney. Installs his personal lawyer who's never prosecuted a case. She immediately indicts Comey. Charges so weak even Bill Barr would have laughed. The indictment alleges Comey, wait for it, improperly retained personal notes about Trump. His own notes that he wrote about conversations where Trump probably committed obstruction. The Tom Homan bribery burial. Actual crime gets immunity. But here's where the corruption becomes art. Same week Comey gets indicted for keeping notes, we learn. Tom Homan, border czar, caught on FBI recording taking $50,000 cash bribe. From undercover, FBI agents posing as contractors seeking detention center deals. Multiple witnesses confirm FBI recommended prosecution. Trump's DOJ response. Case closed, no charges. The recording apparently includes Homan saying, "This better not be recorded while taking the fucking money." But sure, prosecute Comey for note-taking while the border czar runs a pay-to-play scheme. The double standard isn't a bug, it's the entire operating system. Oppose Trump equals invented crimes. Support to Trump equals actual crimes don't exist. Escalators equals assassination attempts, and bribery equals boys being boys. Pete Hegseth's Mystery Military Summit, scheduled for September 30th, at Quantico, Hegseth has summoned 800-plus generals and top brass for a meeting with no announced agenda, no press access, no explanation, mandatory attendance. The rumours from my flies on various walls say it's for loyalty assessments, woke military, purge planning, preparation for domestic deployment, and mass retirement encouragement. Several generals privately describe it as unprecedented and deeply concerning. When professional warriors who've faced actual enemies are scared of their own leadership, you've achieved peak authoritarianism. One general, speaking anonymously because he enjoys being employed, said, "We've been summoned to Quantico with no agenda, while the president's claiming escalators are trying to kill him. This is fine. Everything's fine." The corruption cascade equation. What we're witnessing is paranoia mutating into policy like a fucking virus spreading through a compromised immune system. It starts with personal psychosis reflected in Trump's deranged conviction that escalators are trying to assassinate him. It then metastasizes into institutional madness where every federal agency gets weaponized to investigate his paranoid delusions. That institutional paranoia breeds prosecutorial rabies, where enemies get indicted for breathing wrong, while allies caught red-handed with bribes get protection. The infection spreads to the military, as 800 generals and admirals are summoned, like they're being called to the principal's office by a paranoid child who thinks the playground equipment is plotting against him. The end result? Complete systematic corruption, where the entire machinery of government exists to protect criminals and punish anyone with a functioning moral compass. It's not decay, It's deliberate acceleration from that escalator looked at me funny to purge everyone who won't swear the escalator was guilty in the same fucking week. They're cramming fascism down democracy's throat from that escalator looked at me funny on Monday to purge the military by Friday. The beauty is they're documenting it all. Trump's tweeting about escalator sabotage. The DOJ's publicly burying the Homan bribery while announcing Comey's indictment. Hegseth's sending written summons to 800 generals and admirals. They're creating more evidence of corruption than any investigation ever could. Watching democracy decompose in real time while escalators become enemy combatants. Beelzebub, Lord of Flies and Corruption. Up next, our collapse expert, Leviathan.
Architect of collapse here, documenting how they'll burn down the government rather than release files everyone knows exist. Bless a systemic failure, mortals. This week proved that when threatened with accountability, these fuckers will destroy everything rather than face consequences. Let me map this beautiful catastrophe, the statue that lasted one day. Monday, Trump and Epstein, best friends forever. Statue installed on the National Mall with permit valid until September 28th. Tuesday morning, statue removed by National Park Service at 3 a.m. Wednesday, permit mysteriously invalidated retroactively. One day, one fucking day, before they panicked and yanked it. A piece of art that simply showed two friends together was so threatening they committed theft and fraud to remove it. The excuse parade, public safety concern. It's a statue. Permit irregularities, discovered after removal. Inappropriate political messaging. It's literally just them dancing together. Unknown vandals removed it. Sure, Karen. The real reason. The House discharge petition just got its 218th signature from Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva, who won Tuesday's Arizona special election, and visual reminders of Trump's friendship with a child trafficker are terrible timing. Here's the beautiful clusterfuck. Trump and his gang of pedophiles have already lost. Massey and Khanna announced Wednesday they have the 218 votes. The White House response: they're not trying to prevent signatures. They're desperately trying to get Republicans to withdraw their names by having emergency situation room meetings. Yes, where they plan wars. Johnson claiming the petition doesn't protect victims. And by victims, he means pedophiles. Calling support for it a hostile act against Trump. Full panic mode trying to reverse signatures already given. They're literally trying to unring a bell. The House Rules Committee told Johnson to fuck off. They won't help kill it this time. One GOP source, speaking anonymously. They want us to withdraw our signatures after we already signed. That's like asking someone to unfuck someone. It doesn't work that way. The shutdown weapon. Economic terrorism as distraction. Here's the beautiful systemic play. Can't stop the petition. Blow up the government. The shutdown threat isn't just about funding. They've discovered something evil, even by my standards. Use reduction in force regulations during a shutdown to permanently eliminate positions. Here's the sinister fucking beauty of their shutdown weapon. They refuse to pass a budget, triggering the shutdown like pulling a pin on a grenade. Then they wait. 30 days. Just long enough for the reduction in force regulations to kick in, the bureaucratic equivalent of a license, to kill federal positions. Once that riff window opens, they can eliminate thousands of jobs permanently. Not furlough, not temporary layoffs, complete fucking elimination. These positions just cease to exist, like they've been erased from reality. When the government finally reopens, guess what? Those jobs are gone forever, and the only hiring that happens fills the gaps with hand-picked loyalists who'll prostrate themselves for Darth Orange, kiss the ring, and ask for seconds on the ass fucking. The whole time, they're claiming it's fiscal responsibility, like burning down your house to save on heating bills is good budgeting. It's not governance. It's a purge disguised as a spreadsheet. They're not firing everyone. They're strategically eliminating anyone who might resist, leak, or remember where bodies are buried. Targeted departments for maximum reduction DOJ, prosecutors who won't play ball. State Department, diplomats who know too much, intelligence agencies, analysts who write inconvenient assessments, Inspector General offices, all of them. Next, Jimmy Kimmel's triumphal. When censorship backfires spectacularly, and in the middle of this authoritarian chess game, Jimmy Kimmel returns with 6.3 million viewers, 4 times his normal audience. They suspended him for jokes. America responded by making him must-see TV. First showback highlight. Trump thinks escalators are trying to kill him. The real threat is stairs. Have you seen him walk? Sinclair and Nexstar still refusing to carry Kimmel, but ABC's streaming numbers are unprecedented. Every attempt to silence him just makes him louder. The systemic irony. They created the Streisand effect at scale. By censoring Kimmel, they made him the symbol of resistance. His ratings aren't just viewers. They're a collective middle finger to fascism. The collapse cascade. What connects all these threads is panic over escalators, paranoid delusion, panic over statues, visual evidence, panic over signatures, forced transparency, panic over comedians, narrative control, solution, threatened systemic collapse. They're burning down the government to avoid accountability for crimes everyone already knows about. It's like bulldozing your house to avoid showing your browser history. But here's the truly pathetic part. House Republicans canceled all of next week. Not postponed, canceled. During a budget crisis, while threatening mass firings. Why? They already fucking lost. Grijalva won Tuesday. The 218th signature is coming. They're literally hiding from a vote that's already inevitable. It's like calling in sick to avoid getting fired when the pink slip's already in the mail. They're playing hide-and-seek with democracy. Except democracy already found them, tagged them, and is waiting for them to stop pretending the couch cushions make them invisible. The system isn't failing. It's being failed. Deliberately, as policy, as distraction, as weapon, and now as pure cowardice, because they can't face the vote they already lost. Documenting democracy's demolition by cowards who fear escalators and comedians equally. Leviathan, architect of collapse. Back to you, boss.
My closing thoughts. When your comfort watch returns while Rome burns. You know what perfectly encapsulates America 2025. I'm sitting here, genuinely happy that Kimmel's back, watching him crack jokes about Trump's escalator paranoia, while simultaneously watching that same paranoid fascist threaten to fire thousands of federal workers to distract from his pedophile connections. It's comfort food while democracy dies. It's bread and circuses where the bread is poisoned and the circus is on fire. It's me, the literal Prince of Darkness, finding solace in late-night comedy while humans achieve levels of evil I couldn't have imagined during my fall from heaven. Trump claiming triple sabotage because an escalator stopped, sound failed, and a teleprompter died. That's not authoritarianism. That's mental illness with nuclear launch authority. This is a man who thinks the AV department is conspiring with vertical transportation to assassinate him, having the power to indict anyone who hurts his feelings while protecting actual criminals who stroke his ego. The Homan bribery versus Comey indictment perfectly distills their justice system. Take $50,000 in cash on FBI recording equals protected. Write notes about Trump equals prosecuted. Stop an escalator equals attempted assassination. Make jokes about it equals suspended. But now back with 4 times ratings. Thank hell. And those 800 generals and admirals being summoned to Quantico with no explanation. That's not a meeting. That's a message. We're so paranoid, we'll purge the military over imaginary escalator assassins. But here's what truly breaks my ancient brain. They're doing all this while racing to prevent the Epstein files from coming out. Files that everyone knows exist, about crimes everyone knows happened, involving people everyone knows were involved. They'll burn down the entire federal government rather than confirm what we already fucking know. The statue removal after 1 day despite having a legal permit. That's panic so pure you could bottle it and sell it as fascist cologne. They're so terrified of visual reminders of Trump's Epstein friendship that they'll commit actual crimes to remove art. They already have their 218th signature. Adelita Grijalva won her special election Tuesday and will sign once sworn in. So now they're desperately trying to get Republicans to withdraw their signatures. A White House official literally called supporting transparency a hostile act. They're begging Republicans to take their names back, like you can unsend a text message to your ex. You can't unring a bell. You can't unfuck someone. And you can't unsign a petition just because Daddy Trump is having a panic attack in the Situation Room. You want to know the truth. I'm professionally insulted. I spent millennia perfecting corruption as an art form. These fucks are treating it like a demolition derby. No style, no subtlety, just pure paranoid flailing that happens to destroy democracy. But at least I have my show back. Me and 6.3 million viewers watched Kimmel return. That's 6.3 million middle fingers to censorship. 6.3 million Americans saying, "Fuck your feelings," to fascism. 6.3 million people choosing laughter over fear. Small comfort, sure. But in hell, we take our comforts where we find them. And right now, my comfort is watching a comedian mock a man who thinks escalators are trying to kill him, while that same man warp speeds American fascism through sheer incompetence. The escalator didn't try to kill Trump. It just stopped. Like democracy. Like justice, like sanity, like everything these incompetent fucks touch. But Kimmel's back, so at least I'll have something to watch while they burn it all down. See you next week, mortals, if there's still a government left to destroy. Eternally yours in darkness, and grateful for small victories, Satan. P.S. To the UN maintenance staff being investigated for escalator sabotage, Hell's hiring. We have working escalators and 0 paranoid presidents. Plus, our employee retention is literally eternal. P.P.S. Trump thinking the UN committed triple sabotage while his border czar takes bribes on tape is the most perfect distillation of this administration I've ever seen. Thank you for that. Even I couldn't have written something that fucking stupid.
Satan would like to thank you for listening to the Dark Lord's Dispatch. This podcast is public, so feel free to share it with other worthless souls. Now, go away.